Hey, what's going on, everybody? How Now Videos. I'm here to show you a couple things I just learned in compiling a booklet for an architecture project. So essentially what we're going to look at is master pages and how to use those to set up a great template for a portfolio or a booklet, anywhere you want to create some consistency throughout in order to add uniformity to your whole project, while maybe modifying some things but keeping other things the same. So here I have an InDesign template open, and what I'm going to do here is click on Pages. And so under Pages right here, you're going to see that I have my first page of my booklet, which has Master A applied. So if I go up to the top here, I can see my master pages. So how InDesign works is it uses master pages to then add features to any other page you add to the booklet. In order to add a page, I can click on Create New Page, and you'll see that it goes from cover on and on and on. I had defined when I opened up the project that I wanted to do a spread or a booklet, so when it opens up, the pages then would face each other. That's why it lays out this way. So under page 1 here, if I want to see any change to it, I can just make those changes and then it won't reflect in the other ones. But if I go up to the master page, and notice this one's on the right of the center line. So if I go up to this master page on the right, then any modification I make right here should reflect on this page. So if I go and let's say just drop in a frame tool, which we'll use a little bit later, you'll see that this is also applied to page 3 and 1 and 5 and 7 and 9 and so forth. So anything to the right of where the binding would be. To the left of the binding, we can add options to that. So let's talk about our first shortcut. So the black tool here is the selection tool. The direct selection tool selects what's inside of the selection box. So I'm going to select just the selection tool here, the black one. I'm going to hit Alt, and that does copy. Now this is a kind of a free move copy, so if I hold down Alt and press Shift, I can slide in alignment orthographically to my selection, so I can go and copy that way. Let's go and actually create a couple guidelines, and let's set this thing up correctly. So now that you kind of get a sense of the basics, let's set up our master pages to help us create uniformity throughout a booklet. So what are some things that we might want? Well, one might be page numbers. So I'm going to go up and go to the top, and recognize here I'm on my master sheet on the left side of the binding. I'm going to go up to type, which deals with all kind of type font. And then from there, I'm going to go to not font. I'm going to go down to special character, and then I'm going to go to markers because I want to mark. We want to mark a page number. Right now it won't let me because I don't have a text box to fill in. So if I go to my text box and I drag a line, and then I go up to type, now these commands can populate this box, and I'm going to then go to the same thing that I had just gone to, special characters, markers, and then I can say current page number. So current page number is set, and then I can change the size of that. I think I had to do that maybe a little bit previous to it. Yeah, I probably had to do that previous to setting that in. Let's see if that adjusts. So I had that set to 12 before. This is at 30 now. It should be rather large. I'm going to go down to type, special character, markers, current page number. And yeah, so if you set your font prior to setting in the page number, it'll make those adjustments. So make sure you keep that in mind. Now, if we go through, then if I go to page A, you're going to see that that marks it as 2 and 4. Notice that in the master pages, though, it uses a letter to signify that it's going to then start to mark out your page numbers. And that just helps differentiate that what it's doing, I guess. All right, so with that set, then if we go over to the other side, we have to copy and slide over the same command. So I'm going to go and click off until I'm not selected in. I click once on it. We're going to do the Alt-Shift trick to slide over. And if I'm not snapping easily, I can set up some guides. Here I already have some margins, so it recognizes and snaps to that. And notice that here, though, it's hugging to the left. And here, over on the other side, it's hugging to the left as well. So if I double click in, or what I could do is use the direct selection tool. So here's an example of that. Instead of clicking with the direct selection tool on the box, I could have the direct selection tool selected and then click in, and it should automatically get in on that text. It works great with images and as far as manipulating and cropping those and scaling those. All right, so I have this selected. I'm just going to jump that over to the other side using the paragraph kind of shortcuts here. Notice that there's two different ribbons inside of InDesign. One deals with character formatting, the other deals with paragraphs. All right, so now that we have this set up, maybe we don't want our cover sheet to actually show page 1. So what we can do is right-click on this page and then say Apply Master Pages. By default, InDesign comes in with one master page that says None, and then another one that you can manipulate. So I'm going to say, let's do None on that one, and now I can make my cover much different than the rest of my pages. But there is an issue. If I look down here, I see that this starts with page 2, but maybe we want that to start with page 1 because we don't want to count our cover. If I click on this page and then right-click, I have to uncheck both of these options. So I'm going to uncheck, right-click, uncheck. Then I'm going to right-click and say Numbering and Selection Options. If I click on that, I can then say Start this page right here, page 2, with page number 1, and then say OK. Sometimes it gives you, well, that looks like it didn't work. Let's try that again. Let's do maybe a selection on it. No, it won't work. Okay, let's double click in, right click. We're going to try that one more time. It does work. We're going to go to Numbering and Selection Options. Start page numbering at, I don't think I had hit the dot on this box. You can probably rewind and see. All right, this is what I was expecting. There's an error. And so basically, well, it's not an error. It's just an alert. It says, hey, keep in mind that if you do a print region, let's say from page 1 to page 5, this could throw off what you're anticipating. So pay attention to what's going on. Okay, so now this starts at page 1. So we have our cover page with nothing on it, no master applied, and then we have page 1, page 2 starting out. Now let's say this double number thing is bothering you. I know it's bothering me. I'm going to go and click in, and I'm going to go and I'm going to double click into this box, and I'm just going to delete out the smaller one. I am kind of liking the larger numbers here. Okay. Now let's add like a header, a running header that can kind of exist throughout our page. For speed, it'll help us with placement and text style. So I'm going to add in a text tool, and then I'm